Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Celeb Report. If you like our video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. What if I told you that one of the most influential figures in reality TV is allegedly using his power to silence content creators and punish anyone who refuses to spread his narrative? Carlos King, the mastermind behind some of the biggest reality TV hits, is at the center of a brewing storm. His control over the narrative is tightening. Influencers who dare to challenge Carlos King's version of events have found themselves facing serious consequences. It's not just about creating reality TV drama, it's about controlling the public's perception of it. King has been accused of pressuring content creators to either support his narrative or face the repercussions. This alleged control has led to multiple creators being banned from discussing his projects or any behind-the-scenes drama. Could this be a calculated effort to maintain dominance over the narrative of his shows? Is there more going on here than simply producing television? As we dive deeper into this story, you'll see how King allegedly uses his power to manipulate the media, shape public opinion, and suppress voices that challenge his version of events. In this world, truth becomes subjective, and speaking it can come with severe consequences. Just when you think things can't get more complex, allegations surface suggesting that King is using his platform to retaliate against those who oppose him. Stay tuned as we explore some shocking claims from content creators who found themselves caught in King's crosshairs. Is Carlos King truly the mastermind behind this behind-the-scenes war on truth? Or is there something else at play? As we continue, one thing becomes clear. King isn't just a reality TV mogul, but a fierce protector of his brand. For content creators and influencers who cross him, the fallout can be more serious than you think. Over the past few years, a number of influencers have come forward to share their experiences with Carlos King, shedding light on a side of the industry most viewers never get to see. These are content creators who built their platforms by analyzing the drama and behind-the-scenes events of reality TV shows like The Real Housewives and Love and Marriage, Huntsville. But after refusing to follow King's narrative, they found themselves banned, silenced, or blacklisted. Take, for example, one well-known YouTuber who had built a loyal following by offering unfiltered commentary and deep dives into reality TV. For a time, everything seemed fine. The creator was invited to interviews, worked with publicists in the industry, and gained exclusive access to behind-the-scenes details unavailable to the public. However, things took a turn when this influencer began questioning certain on-screen events and storylines tied to Carlos King's shows. Suddenly, the invitations stopped coming, access to exclusive interviews was pulled, and they found themselves shut out from major events. Soon, the influencer noticed a disturbing shift in their relationships with other creators. Some who had once been allies began to distance themselves. It became clear that certain topics were off-limits. The heat from Carlos King's alleged media war has had serious consequences for those who dared to challenge him. What happened to these content creators, and how did they handle the fallout? Trust me, you won't want to miss this. As we continue to peel back the layers of Carlos King's web of control, the stories from creators who felt his wrath become even more eye-opening. These aren't just random bloggers or YouTubers. These are established content creators who spent years building their platforms, gaining loyal fan bases, and earning a voice in the reality TV community. But when they pushed boundaries and questioned King's influence, they found themselves facing a media blackout, losing deals, and even having their credibility called into question. Let's talk about one high-profile content creator who, after voicing a simple opinion about inconsistencies they noticed in one of Carlos King's popular shows, received immediate backlash. At first, the content creators in the space many can relate to the feeling when the audience turns on you, questioning whether your truth is real or just a personal vendetta. But the real issue isn't always the fans. It's the industry, the media, and powerful figures like Carlos King, who hold the power to make or break an influencer's career. As we've seen in this case, King's influence goes far beyond the reality TV shows you see on your screens. He holds a significant grip on the behind-the-scenes world, particularly for influencers and content creators within the reality TV space. King doesn't just control the narratives that play out on screen, he also has a hand in deciding what information is shared, and more troublingly, what gets suppressed. Creators who have dared to question his methods have learned this lesson the hard way. The big question remains, why does Carlos King feel the need to control the truth to such an extent? This leads us to an even more alarming aspect of his influence, the fact that some content creators are allegedly being used as puppets to promote his version of events. We've seen influencers and bloggers churning out content that supports King's narrative, his shows, and his celebrity clients, while potentially silencing their own voices in the process. But why would anyone willingly fall in line, even if it means compromising their integrity? Some believe it's a combination of fear and ambition. In a competitive industry, the desire to stay relevant and maintain opportunities often leads creators to make compromises. Aligning themselves with powerful figures like King can offer them access to major opportunities, including exclusive interviews, collaborations, and access to high-profile events. But at what cost? Is it worth losing your authenticity and voice just to stay in the good graces of those who control access to the biggest shows and interviews? In the next section, we'll take a deeper look at how this media war goes beyond just content creators. How does Carlos King's alleged grip on the truth impact the reality TV industry itself? What are the long-term consequences for the shows we watch? And how might this shift the entertainment landscape as a whole? You won't want to miss the shocking revelations coming up. Now that we've explored the troubling experiences of content creators facing King's wrath, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. How does this mean? Carlos King's influence over reality TV extends far beyond the screen. With his power comes the responsibility of not only controlling the narratives of the shows themselves, but also managing the stories that surround them. In reality TV, the story is everything, from editing to crafted story arcs. Everything we see is carefully designed to elicit a specific emotional response from the audience. It's entertainment, but it's also manipulation. What many viewers don't realize is that much of what they watch is not entirely true. It's been shaped to serve the purpose of the show, often at the expense of the people involved. Behind the scenes, producers like Carlos King hold the reins when it comes to shaping those narratives. But when a content creator or influencer challenges that narrative, it's not just a critique of the story. It's a challenge to an entire industry system built on maintaining control over the audience's perception. When creators speak out, they're not just questioning a plotline. They're taking a stand against the larger media machine that depends on these shows for content. King's power in the entertainment world is precisely that: the ability to shape perceptions, control access, and ultimately dictate the direction of a show, or even the careers of its participants. Take, for example, the way Love and Marriage. Huntsville has kept its stars in the spotlight. The show is famous for its dramatic storylines, often revolving around the marriages and relationships of its cast members. However, these aren't just personal stories. They're highly edited and constructed to maximize drama for the sake of ratings. Carlos King is the architect behind these decisions. He knows how to position the cast members in a way that creates conflict, suspense, and intrigue. And if someone dares to challenge that carefully crafted image, they can easily find themselves out of favor with him and the network. Now consider the broader impact of this type of control on the entire reality TV ecosystem. The pressure to maintain a specific image or storyline doesn't just affect the cast members. It extends to everyone involved, from content creators who cover the shows to the audience who consumes them. If influencers are repeatedly told to uphold King's carefully curated narratives and are punished for straying from them, what does this mean for the overall integrity of the content we see? We've already seen the fallout for one content creator whose career was practically destroyed for challenging King's narrative. But what about the shows themselves? How does this level of control affect the way Love and Marriage, Huntsville, and other reality TV shows evolve? Could the industry become more controlled, with less room for authentic experiences and individual voices? The answer may lie in the increasing rise of manufactured drama in reality TV. We've all seen it. The storylines that feel a little too perfect, too calculated, and too familiar. The increasing involvement of influencers and content creators in promoting these narratives has led to a cycle where reality TV isn't as real as we think. Instead of allowing the cast to drive their own stories, producers and executives, figures like Carlos King, actively shape the storylines to keep viewers engaged. When someone dares to question the validity of these carefully constructed moments, they risk being erased from the conversation entirely. As we dig deeper into this, we begin to understand how the industry is changing. Influencers who once had the freedom to critique and provide commentary on reality TV are now walking a fine line. Those who challenge the established narratives risk losing everything, from brand partnerships to industry recognition. With Carlos King's increasing influence, it's clear that the pressure to conform to a specific narrative is only going to grow stronger. But what does this mean for the future of reality TV? Will we continue to see more puppet master producers like Carlos King shaping the stories we consume? Or will there eventually be a pushback from content creators, reality stars, and even the viewers themselves? What happens when the truth is no longer just a matter of opinion, but a battleground for control over an entire industry? In the next section, we'll explore some of the strategies that content creators, reality stars, and even viewers can use to resist this tightening grip on truth and reclaim the narrative. The revelations here are just beginning, and the future of reality TV might look very different than we expect. Stay with us as we dive into these compelling questions.